What's up, everybody? For those of you that don't know me, I'm your coach, Jason Kelski with Game Time Strength. So some of you are new to this entirely. Some of you have tried our stuff and fell off track, and then others have been doing our stuff for a little bit and just kind of want like an explainer video for your friends. So I'm just gonna kind of do a little crash course on our system here. So problems we're solving for overall, obviously with this all started with our quarantine. So people are gaining weight, getting out of shape, losing muscle and strength. You're supporting small businesses. So you're eating out constantly. There's no gym access. There's little to no equipment that you have at home, and you can't find any equipment to buy, right? You're limited on space, tight on finances, you're lacking motivation, accountability, structure. And some of you are waiting for all of this to just blow over so you can get back into the gym, right? And what you're doing is, the last 3 months you've been kind of burned, or you've just burned through time. And, so now we don't know what this is going to be like in the end, but I can tell you it's probably going to be a slow process to get people back in the gym. You're going to be on reservation systems, and you're going to have a limited amount of time in the gym to get your stuff done. So you're going to start needing to train from home. So this is a good time to start learning to train. Feedback wise, we've been doing this for the last 3 months. And so I really appreciate all the feedback that all of you guys are giving us, because this helps us improve this system. And every day we're making new updates and changes to stuff. So things that I've seen is some of you just never got started, right? The motivation is low. The barrier to entry or investment, time and investment is just, whatever. I don't even want to think about it. I'd rather do other stuff, right? There might be too much information. Sometimes it overwhelms people and they just don't get started, right? Some of you guys just want no thinking, just tell me what to do and go. Sometimes the daily workouts are a little too ambitious. So doing a full workout daily is a little just too much for some people. You need a break. I mean, I know I'm the same way. I could do that for a period of time, and then after a while I get burned out, and then I need to kind of break things up a little bit differently, right? Some of you couldn't do the full workouts, so you didn't do anything at all, right? So that happens a bunch. And then some of you are just burned out after a single challenge, right? You go full bore, you kill it, and then you're mentally you're just checked out, and then it takes weeks for you to get back on board on something else, right? So we're going to kind of address all of the stuff that we're doing to tackle this stuff. Okay, so our program and how we structured this is our goals here and our objectives for you is we want to ease you into some home training. There's a lot of change going on at once. We want to, maybe you're in routine at the gym, what machines you're working or the barbell exercise you're doing, but you have no idea what to do from home, and you don't know based on what you have, what you can do, right? So we're going to get you started training at home. Number 2 is I want to kickstart some type of consistent daily training habit. We'll get into this more later and how we structure this. Now, daily training habit doesn't mean you have to go an hour or 2 hours worth of an intense workout, right? This could be very simple stuff that you're just getting better in maybe a 10 to 15 minute period. The other things we want to address is we want to approach all of our primary movement patterns and muscle groups that you find in a GTS program. So this is not going to replace barbell training. Barbell training is far superior to home training, but the really key important thing here is we want to make sure that we're training all of our movement patterns, like your squatting, your hinging, pushing, pulling, all that kind of stuff, and making sure that when the time comes and you get back into the gym, that you hit the ground running, that you preserved all your movement patterns, that you're not restricted in certain areas, that you're conditioned to get back and hit the ground running. And there's a lot of qualities that we can learn here and improve on that'll help us in the gym long term. Now, I also want you to experiment with different exercise variations for each movement pattern and muscle group. Now, we'll go into this in a little bit, but we break everything up by movement pattern and muscle group. And then based on what you have at home or what you're capable of doing, you're going to choose the exercise variation to get that workout done. Also, during this time, I encourage you to build out your home gym or your training area and discover the items and equipment you might want to add for the future, because this is always going to be valuable to you. You might do most of your training out of the gym, ideally, right, where you get your barbell work or maybe your machine work, however you want to do things. But it's going to be important that you have some type of backup system or something at home that you can do when things get a little crazy like they have been now. So, and then I want you to prepare for your first GTS home training challenge, where we're starting to combine movement patterns and adding more advanced rep schemes. So this first challenge or this first program is going to be, we're going to only drip out one movement pattern a day, because I want you to experiment with different things. I want to just have you focus on watching one video at a time versus watching 2 or 3 videos, figuring out what you can and can't do, slinging together rep schemes. I want to just kind of break this stuff in a very digestible manner. Again, like I said, for the training side of things, we're breaking up our programs into movement patterns and muscle groups. Now, we're going to provide some type of recommended rep scheme for each of those, and then you're going to choose the exercise variation for that movement. So I have a whole bunch of videos of exercise variations based on the movement pattern. So your movement patterns are things like squatting, pressing, hinging, all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to show you a bunch of different things you can do with either body weight or stuff around the house so we can still train all of those variations. Now, again, each training session is broken up into one movement pattern a day, exercise variations, and then eventually we're going to build off this with more challenging rep schemes and slinging together movement patterns and muscle groups into like a big comprehensive workout. And we're going to complete the training, or I want you to do 10 plus minutes of intentional training daily. So in order to build this habit, we're going to get into this in a little bit, but I set a minimum goal for myself of 10 minutes of training per day, right? Minimum. Now you could always do more, but a lot of times it starts off as just get a warm up or movement prep in. You might not have any desire or any motivation to train, but we can use that 10 minutes to do something. And odds are, once you get that blood flowing and you get like the ball rolling, you're going to want to do a lot more. Now, that's not always the case, but give yourself permission. You just got to get 10 minutes in. Like I said, most of the time I'm doing movement prep or some type of warm up, some type of like diagnostic systems test where I'm checking out my body, feeling good, getting some blood flow going. And then usually you end up doing a lot more stuff. So again, 10 minutes of intentional training per day, or you complete the training of the day, or some type of mixture of the two.